Hey, hey, what is going on? What's happening, people? Oh my gosh, time flies when you're being dumb, huh? Just rips right on by. All right, well, we're right back into it, ladies and gentlemen, and just people of the universe, party people. Let's see what's going on, man. I got some really hot DMs to get into, some really hot poetry. And, quite frankly, I don't even completely remember all the different stuff that I got lit up with. So there's just a bunch of different stuff to get into. Let's look at Abi Coma here and see what they got going on. October night. Drowsy silence settles over the town as biting wind abates, with leaves left quivering on browning stems. See that, guys? You see what I'm talking about with all this kind of adjectival, drowsy silence, that adjective. So that's doing a lot of work there. Biting wind, that's doing a lot of work. That biting, quivering, I guess is a verb, but it feels fairly adjectival there. So we're asking all these kind of descriptive adjectival stuff to do a lot of the kind of lifting for this opening stanza. And when we do that, we're essentially kind of dictating a little bit for the reader what we think how they should interpret, and how they should think about this scene. So instead of triggering primarily our visual imagination and letting the sounds of the poem combine with the visuals to create this kind of stark, immediate imagery and impression for us, we're kind of dictating how they should think, how the reader should think about these things, like drowsy silence. Do we need to know the silence is drowsy? Because that's kind of a judgment of the writers. The writers bringing their own perspective on that. Now, some of that here and there is inevitable, and all poetry is going to do that to a greater or lesser degree. But we could open this poem, silence, and settles. Does it settle? I mean, silence grips. Silence, I don't know. Let's try grips. Silence grips the town as wind slows. Leaves. What would you do? A few leaves still hesitating on their browning stems. I don't know. So I don't want to write anybody's poem for them. I think that's a kind of an act of imaginative appropriation. But I'm saying, if you put a gun to my head and you said, were you to write October Night? Now, I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know where they want to go with this piece. So I don't understand their full objectives. But I'm saying there might be ways to de-escalate with the reader and let the reader bring their own ideas and reactions to the poem. I'm getting this reputation as this guy who doesn't like finish reading poems on Reddit, and people are like, oh, well, you didn't even finish you didn't even finish the poem. It's like, well, that's not it. Please don't get hung up on that part, because I want to emphasize to everybody how important it is for us to open our poems in particular ways using particular strategies. So that way we really end up spending perhaps a little bit more energy on how we open a poem than the middle. How we end a poem ends up being pretty significant too, but the reader's not necessarily going to get to the ending unless your opening is really spot on. I talk about this idea of like the opening gambit or opening proposal, and really the gambit is this idea I took from chess, where like you see these certain openings happen in chess over and over again. where people move a certain pawn because it's better, or they'll make a certain exchange. A gambit is something where you might offer them a pawn or a material for some long-term advantage. So offer the reader something, give them something, dangle something juicy for them that they feel they get for free, and then you take revenge on them. November weather, misses and mishaps. I like the name Misses and Mishaps, so score 1 for the name. How cold it is. Look at the ginkgo trees. First thing to yellow at the threat of November. What do you guys think? A plus plus, A plus 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 plus. How do you get better than that? The gambit's there. How cold it is. So a little tiny bit awkward, but I love how you get that exclamation mark and then look. So you're demanding the reader do something. You give them the gambit, how cold it is. Look. You know, because of the title, November weather, you know what we're talking about. You demand they look at the ginkgo trees. So you locate, you take their gaze and you locate it. Do that, Reddit. Do that. The first thread of November. Okay. Look at the juncos dissolving north and the flush dusk. Good. Flush dusk. Good. At the wispy hemlocks hugging for warmth. Specific. Didn't say trees. Didn't say trunks. Hemlocks. So, Socrates took the hemlock, right? Am I right on that, guys? Hugging for warmth. Dropping their needles. How cold you were. So the U comes a little late. It's pushing it. So what? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Line 10. We get to the U. You might want to include the U in the proposal. How cold you were. How cold you are. Exclamation mark. Look at the ginkgo trees. So then you could get the U earlier, right? A little scarlet birch leaves. That's the little is a little precious, but okay. Little scarlet pin cherries. So don't repeat the little. It's a little too much. How cold your hands. Okay, well you just said how cold you were. How cold your hands. Now you're repeating yourself. When you handed me my sweatshirt in exchange for your apartment key. Oh, well, you got to get this type of stuff earlier on. This is coming a little late, don't you think? Little scarlet side-eye. Little scarlet. Okay, you're repeating yourself with these littles. Too many littles. You can do some of this diminuendo at the end, but this is too much. Wow. So one of the greatest openings of a poem we've had, period, here on the OC Trolling series. Pretty much just like 115-mile-an-hour service winner at Wimbledon here. I mean, this is just this unstoppable opening here. And then the follow-up, I don't know, the volley is not effective. I guess my metaphor isn't effective. If it was a service winner, I mean, the game would that point would be over. So, in terms of my use of metaphor, there, no good. So it was a strong serve, but you know the poem goes on. It wasn't the end of it. You know, you need to volley. You need to go to the net and finish them off. Okay. The Painting. Hey, I wrote a poem with that title, and kind of a frustrating poem of mine. So I'm getting like PTSD. You need to put like the trigger warning here, Sella. I think Sella and I, we had a little back and forth talking about all types of different stuff. So I wish you the best, Sella. I'm not going to tell you stuff you disclose over the chat. You know, that's the juicy stuff between you and me, Sella. But, yeah. Good luck in all your endeavors. You're going out there and taking the world by storm. The painting. She stands against the frame, her form blooming between the lines. Which lines? If it's a painting, paintings aren't known for their lines exactly. You mean the frames? The lines of the poem? See, you're mixing things up. Her beauty is something to be taken like a rose. What does that have to do with the painting? Taken like, what do you do with a rose? You cut it? Try not to get, stuck with a thorn while you take one of those special little pruning scissors and snip it. Is that taking it like a rose? Take it like a man. Take your scotch like a man. No chaser. You can't be sitting there shivering after you drink it. Means you're a loser. But what is beauty taken like a rose? Observed like one from a safe distance. Bought at a store for $10 at the florist. I'll take 10. I'll take a dozen. Not sure. That never withers in the glass. Why doesn't it ever wither? That is always full. Why is it always full? With every drop drunk by the gaze? Whose gaze? What does that have to do with the painting? The speaker's gaze? Every petal stripped. See, there's this every. Don't every this. Don't use every twice. Every petal stripped by the mouth. Ooh, wow, racy, except I don't understand what's happening in the poem. I think we're getting to it. We finally have the I. Okay, we're like 20 lines down. We have I, the one who stands before her. Am the I who eats. Yum, 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 yum. I'm squishing her head. I'm squishing her head. The want that takes. The take that wants. Sella. I don't know. Sella Express. Okay, you got some stuff going on. I'm not, it's not, these line lengths, they're very short lines you're playing with. So your pressure for clarity is going to be a little bit higher because of these very short lines. I think like blooming between, that's like a nice degree of assonance, and I don't know. And then you have beauty after that. It's hard to put beauty in a poem. People do. I don't know. Every time I say don't put this, don't put that in your poem, then I read like a Louise Gluck poem and she puts like knowledge and like soul and I don't know. I feel like a hypocrite. I'm like, oh, well, when you're famous, they let you do it. It's like, well, that's not really what I intend to say. I'm saying when you're cutting your teeth as a poet and you're trying to get into it, you're trying to get better, you need to learn how to paint. Painting as a poet means observing, using your words to precisely describe and locate the reader and trigger their sensual imagination. She stands against the frame is good. Her form blooming between the lines. The lines are bad. You lose us there. And then her beauty is going to be taken like a rose, but you don't describe her or the painting, but you've brought them both up, and that's frustrating. Another one from Scylla. I can't give you as much time on this one, Scylla, because that ain't right. That ain't fair, right? It can't just be the Scylla show. Fruit of the tree. Fruit of the loom. I make some underwear. I'm wearing those fruit of the loom right now. Feels good. When my teeth, yikes, don't want that in my fruit of the loom, met. It was in black flesh. When my teeth met, it was in black flesh. There in the dark heart was a worm. What? Fruit of the tree. When my teeth met, it was in black flesh. Okay, so you were eating dark fruit, okay? Dark meat. Dark, there in the dark heart was a worm. Curled like a Buddha? Do Buddhas curl? I mean, I guess this one's kind of curled. Can you guys see that? So I guess that's possible. But it's not usually the typical image. Probably has a stiff back. Look at that. I mean, it's just awful for his posture. Newborn. Okay. Newborns. I've seen those. I've seen 3 of them right here in this house. Well, at the hospital, but, you know. Were they curled? Yeah. They kind of curl up. No, their legs don't. Their hips. Okay. Or my wet tongue curled around a pearl of cyanide. Ooh, oh, okay. No. I don't know. I can't be endorsing the suicide stuff, guys. I got to point you all to the suicide prevention hotline whenever we have these things happen in Reddit palms. Okay. Keep at it, Scylla. You know. Go back to that painting poem. See what you can do with it. Till the moon goes down. We got some great Reddit usernames. So congrats on the Reddit usernames, guys. Return. A bird flew past the window today. Don't they do that every day? It flew lightly, silently. Don't birds perforce logically fly lightly? Holly go lately? Carefully. Thought it was a little ghost. Carefully? What? Why do birds fly carefully? Thought it was a little ghost floating through the snapdragons. Okay, good. Locating the reader. You give us some specifics here. With how silent and straight it flew. But you already told us it flew lightly, silently. Never tell the reader stuff twice, you guys. Come on. Like a little ghost. And you said that too. Don't repeat yourself in your poems. Unless it's a refrain. In which you probably don't do that. But why was I thinking about little ghosts? Now, why was I? I don't know. You tell us. Is that your gambit? So open with that. Why was I thinking about ghosts when a sparrow, a midge, flew past the window, floating through the snapdragons? Its own silent symbol of peace, waiting for it to sing, singing sweetly. I felt it must sing. I remember how it must have sung in those cold, white mornings of the winter. I don't know, guys. I shouldn't do that. That's not good. That's not helpful. That's like the diabolically wrong thing for me to do. I should be a good, helpful Reddit troller, not the one who just like writes people's poems for them. And I wrote a lame one anyway. People probably like that one better. I'm telling you, guys, less is more. Do less and you accomplish more. Take out most of the stuff in your poem, vary the phrasing, and you have a recipe for success. Will it be the world's greatest poem? No, I just proved that it won't be. But it will be better by not repeating yourself and by keeping the reader slightly off balance with your phrasing. Push line and phrase. When line and phrase are in tension, you create a productive energy of reader excitement as opposed to reader boredom. Interesting imagery potentially somewhere buried in this poem. Keep working on it. Dare I? Dare I go to new? Dare I? People ask me, do I dare? Chaos at Disneyland. Can't do it. Can't do chaos at Disneyland. Leading turn. Okay, now people are going to get mad at me. I hear them already. But if you're saying that you won't do it because it's prose. No, I'm saying look at it. It just looks like it sucks. Sad Sapphire. Dream's Corpse. Dream's Corpse. No. Grass is tinnitus that heals. Overdosed. T-boned by a carjacker, overdosed on opium. God, that's just so edgelord. There is no cure. You are poisoned not by choice, nor one the venom lingers in your veins. Edgelord. Days, beginning as they all do with the end of sleep, the stopping of dreams. Okay. The start of the real, slowly unfolding mind and body. Mind and body. Lost me there. Mind and body. POC. Piece of crap. I held my hand against a sunflower. I'm not yellow. Salt and strange. How do you tell the boy who buys you flowers every morning that each night you feel him press a knife against your throat? Bold conceit. It's a bold conceit. Open your poem with something interesting, ladies and gentlemen. That when he smiles at you, the cord around your neck tightens. And when he laughs, you think of how everything could go wrong at any moment. Well, we kind of already know that, right? So that's like stating the obvious. The first time we kissed, I felt the blade lodged in my chest, pierced through the heart. Well, so why not just stop it with the first time we kissed, I felt the blade lodging. Every blade needs a lodge. Well, you got a great one here with all the amenities near your heart. Let's go with that. And when he laughs, you don't even need that line. How do you tell the boy who buys you flowers every morning? Question mark. Just to go there. When he smiles at you, you feel the cord around your neck. When he laughs, or no, skip that. When we kiss, instead of make it past tense, make it present. When we kiss, the blade lodges. And I remember the metallic taste. And I taste metal burning. How I called for you, and you did not hear. I don't know. I'm doing it again. I'm doing it. I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't do it. It's bad. I'm a bad person. I always think, I remember when I was starting out, guys. You know, sometimes some of these professors did that to me. They would rewrite my poem. I would fume. I'd be so mad. It's my poem, my voice. You can't do that to me. You don't know what I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm a hypocrite. Well, I'm trying to give the audience something, some sense of some possibilities. I don't think I'm right. I don't think I'm writing something that's necessarily better or, playing around with something that's an alternative and saying, what if we played a little bit? Maybe that something productive happens. That should be the idea. Maybe we could sketch out a world of greater economy, greater tension, greater electricity in these poems. Could think of a poem as like an electric circuit. And if you have a word here or extra there, the current doesn't flow as well. And if you take those things out that are obstructing the current, the whole thing lights up like a fucking Christmas tree. That's what you should be working on, folks. That's what I want you to try to do. Take stuff out until it lights you the fuck up. Then you know you're on the right track. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and people and folks of all sorts of shapes, sizes, backgrounds, and dimensions, it's my pleasure to be your guest on your screen. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to be back. I hope to be back soon. Have a good one.